What's good? What's good? What's good? Polo Sports Talking ENT here again with another one. Make sure you hit that like, sub, comment, notifications. You know the deal. You know the drill. Now, the two teams that I'm talking about today, talking about two of the hottest teams and two of the hottest players. In one, Lamar Jackson for the Ravens, and two for Justin Herbert for the Los Angeles Chargers. Came in and squared off today in the case of what could be called for bragging rights. But nevertheless, the Ravens were able to come in and dominate, beating the Chargers 34 to 6. Now that puts the Chargers at 4-2, and it puts the Ravens at, of course, 5-1. Listen, they absolutely came in and made it to where they were able to just put the clamps on them. The offensive line for the Baltimore Ravens. That's what the whole tell of the story was about. Lamar Jackson was accurate, and he was accurate in the first half, but he kind of made a few errors, but nevertheless he was still able to come in and still do his thing, regardless. You know, uh, you know, I think that with Murray and Le'Veon Bell being able to have those two in there today, I think that that's what really set the tone for the Ravens. And here's the thing: uh, Lamar Jackson pretty much did what was necessary to win this game. Now, some might say that he didn't have as a great a game as Justin Herbert, because Justin Herbert had a little bit better game, even though they didn't get the win, and it doesn't tell the tale in terms of the scoring, because the defense was definitely on point. Justin, Herbert, he was 22 39 completion at 195 yards with one touchdown and one interception. You know, um, un un Herbert light, but I'm pretty sure he'll bounce back. And then of course Lamar Jackson had 19 27 completion, 167 yards. He had two interceptions and one touchdown. But like I was saying earlier, they did get it done on the ground. I think what spoke volumes though is them on the run. You had Bell, who was able to get a touchdown. Of course, Murray, he was able to get a touchdown, and of course Freeman, who a lot of people have been Devonta Freeman. A lot of people have really been sleeping on Freeman. They forget that trio right there with Murray, Le'Veon Bell, and on top of that with Freeman, that could actually be an opposite attack in comparison to what most teams are relying on in terms of the doing it in terms of throwing and receiving and whatnot. Uh, for the Chargers, I look for them to bounce back. I don't see them really uh, holding this loss over their head. A lot of people think that the Chargers are for real. I really think that. Now, I didn't pick them to come out of the AFC. You know, I'm still sticking with my pick, because I had actually picked. I said it was either going to be between the Bills, or it could be between the Ravens, and then on a sneaky tip, I had picked the Browns too as well, to come out of the AFC. And many people wonder why I did pick the Browns to come out of the AFC. The reason is because I felt like Baker Mayfield, he he'll be able to, show up. It's not showing right now because they weren't doing that. They're not doing that great, especially when you talk about the whole situation that's going on between Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield, which hasn't seemed to have gotten much better as people are speculating that Beckham may leave. But that's a whole nother story. Um, like I said, the Ravens, they dominated Los Angeles in every phase of the game. Uh, you know, and if there were any questions about the defense in this game in terms of the Ravens, they were answered today. They were answered today, especially when you talk about the secondary, especially when you talk about the line. You know, particularly the line. And some people thought that Herbert was going to break that defense down. That wasn't the case today. That wasn't the case today. Right? Yeah, yeah. But they'll. You know what? Salute to you, Saul. I think that they will bounce back. They see a lot of teams that go on and start winning in the first half of the season. The second half of the season, sometimes they struggle because they haven't been battle tested. Like for instance, we got the teams that are facing off today. When we talk about Kyler Murray, when we talk about Kyler Murray, and we talk about Baker Mayfield, in which our we'll talk about that when it's done. They're squaring off right now. See, the Cardinals are doing great right now. They're 5-0, but the Browns have been battle tested. They're going through issues within the team. They're still 3-2, and then on top of that, you also got a quarterback who some people feel like are struggling too, and he's got to go through that mental battle. Whereas a lot of people don't understand, Tom Brady went through the same thing. He's been battle tested. He's been battle tested this year. He's playing with a hurt thumb, playing shorthanded, and on top of that, got various injuries that are going on within the secondary too as well. But nevertheless, they were battle tested last year because guess what? They started off slow and then we ended up winning the championship. So I was able to talk to a guy yesterday, and we were chopping it up and everything. And this is what he had told me. He said there's still a whole lot more football to be played. And we were talking about the Steelers, and I said, that's a great point. Like everybody's counting the Steelers out, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit of a prisoner of the moment because I said, okay, hey, look, it's time for Ben Roethlisberger. He's kind of going downhill and everything. But at the same token, something could spark, and then next thing you know, they go on a little clicking winning type of streak or whatever. So when I look at the Chargers, it's just them being battle tested. Sometimes a loss is good, better than a great dominator win. But I'm anxious to see how it's going to affect Lamar Jackson going further. But Lamar Jackson is just going to continue to go all the way up. Now I know that he didn't show that great today. He had 2 interceptions, and really didn't had a much yardage, with the exception of the rushing and whatnot. But he'll bounce back. So every game is not going to be pretty. Every game is not going to be all flamboyant like that, and people got to realize that every game is not going to be like that. And then of course you're going to have some games where you're going to absolutely dominate with flying colors. So y'all tell me what you think. Like this video, share it, subscribe. Also hit them notifications too. Until then, it's Polo Sports Talking Entertainment, man. I'll get at y'all later.